Welcome to all the drivers to the first quarterly training of 2013. My name is Dale. I'm the Policy and Compliance Manager, and my topic for today is the DVIRs, also known as the Driver Vehicle Inspection Reports, that are to be filled out daily. And we will talk about the purpose of them and how specifically we are going to accomplish that. The purpose of the inspection reports that we fill out is to, first of all, make sure that a vehicle is never put on the road that is unsafe to be on the road, and second of all, to maintain the vehicles to be able to put them back on the road safely as soon as possible. And so we'll look at each of the portions of the inspection report during this video. Okay, here is the inspection report, and the inspection report has changed a little bit. There are now two signatures for the drivers, and it's labeled here pre-trip inspection and post-trip inspection. So there are two signatures, which means you're going to do your pre-trip inspection and you will sign it, and then you will take it with you as documentation that you have done your pre-trip inspection. After that, you will do your post-trip inspection and sign it down here. So there are two signatures required. On the pre-trip inspection, you just make sure that the vehicle is safe to take on the road, and you check this box right here that says you don't detect anything that will affect the safety, and then you sign right here. Then you take it with you. Also, we need to document on our daily logs that we did a pre-trip and a post-trip. So we require that we log at least 15 minutes of on-duty not driving for both pre-trip and post-trip, and to specifically write pre-trip on it in the place we did pre-trip and post-trip, and so that it is on the log. So then on your post-trip, you make observations of the things that you see positive and negative with the vehicle. We encourage all of that communication. It may or may not affect the safety of the vehicle. So, for example, if a transmission disengages, then that certainly affects the safety of the vehicle. However, if there is a small chip in the windshield, that does not. But that's okay, we still encourage all of those comments. And then after your trip, you sign under driver's signature at the bottom. Now, let's talk about the mechanics part and their portion in dealing with this. The mechanics that are in Logan and Rexburg, we have mechanics in both of those locations. When the inspection report after you do your post-trip is put onto the clipboard, if you're in either Logan or in Rexburg, then the mechanics go at the beginning of their shift, and they see all of the inspection reports that do not have a mechanic signed off on them, but that have an issue with them, and then they take that back into the shop as their to-do list. And then they make the decision right here whether it doesn't need to be corrected for safe operation, and maybe they'll order a part so that they can get it fixed, but it can still go on the road, or they will correct it and so that the vehicle can be safe on the road. And so, as a driver, if I was in Logan or Rexburg, where there are mechanics, and I go to drive a vehicle and the clipboard was missing in the room, then that would indicate that the vehicle is out of service, in which case you would go and talk to the mechanics to see if it's been fixed, and if it hasn't been fixed, what vehicle you should then take. Likewise, if you go and you see that there was a problem up here, and then you see that there is not a mechanic that has signed off on it, before you take the vehicle, you would make sure that a mechanic has the opportunity to look at it, and so that he can give you the go-ahead, and then you would do your pre-trip and get on your way. This means for those who are not in Logan or in Rexburg that this process is going to work a little bit differently, because the inspection report is going to be on there and the mechanic has to look at it if you're in Rexburg or Logan. But if it's not, and you are a driver who is in Pocatello or Provo or Idaho Falls or any of the outside areas, any place other than Logan or Rexburg, then if there is something written on here that affects the safety of the vehicle and the vehicle needs to be put out of service, you would need to call Jacob, and so that you can switch out vehicles. Otherwise, if you're not sure if it's a safety issue or not, if you have any mechanical questions, then you would call Wayne, and so that he can guide you to what steps you need to take and tell you, yes, that is illegal and a safety hazard, or that should be fine, or this is what you can do to correct it, and then let's look at it. So, as an outside driver, that is the responsibility that you have. If it is something that does not affect the safety of the vehicle, like a chip in the windshield, then that's okay. You can still take the vehicle, and then the same day or the next day the mechanics will have it, because that you will put the inspection report will be in your envelope, and they will be able to see what problems they have and say, well, it's due for service, or it's close, or maybe we ought to take a look at that because that is a little, maybe a concern for the future. Then that's the step that they will need to take. So, now let's talk about the next driver's signature. If there are when you do your post-trip, you're going to leave the inspection report in one of two locations. If you are in Rexburg or Logan, and you leave your vehicle in Rexburg or Logan, then you will put your inspection report on the clipboard of that vehicle. If you are anywhere else at all, leaving a vehicle anywhere else at all besides Rexburg or Logan, there are clips in all of the vehicles that say DVIR in them. For example, in the vans to the right of the steering wheel, there is a little clip in the van and it says DVIR on it. Then you will leave your inspection report in that clip so that the next driver will have a chance to look at it and sign it, because we need that communication going back and forth from someone's experience previously and then to the next driver, so that he can make sure to look for the same problems or know that a mechanic is going to fix it. He should have been rescheduled, but again, he needs to see the communication. So if you are in Logan or Rexburg, you would come to the last inspection report and sign under next driver's signature only after seeing these comments and the comments that the mechanics made on the vehicle, and that it's good to go. Otherwise, if you are in a different location, you will put your post-trip inside of the clip. Then when the next driver comes, he will sign under next driver's signature to say that he received the communication. Then, after he signs under next driver's signature, he will put that in his envelope, and so that it can get back to the shop. And then he will do his pre-trip, go through his trip, sign his post-trip, and then leave it in the clip and then his own report that he filled out will not go in until the next driver goes to drive it, sees it, signs off on it, and then puts that in his envelopes, so that we have that communication going back and forth. These inspection reports, again, are to be filled out every day, even if we are on a charter. Every single day fill out an inspection report, even if you have to sign your own under next driver's signature to say, hey, I did this post-trip and I signify that I'm aware of these things before I did my pre-trip and before I went on my way, and I did my duty to make sure that the vehicle was safe. Please put your name in the name box when you reach the end of this video, as well as any questions or comments that you have, put them in there. But also please write your name and write attended in the box, and so that we can write each of you down for your quarterly training. And we thank you for watching this portion, and next you'll have the opportunity to listen to Mike. If you have any questions, again, please submit them or let me know. Thank you.